Hey folks, I'll be reviewing the iLife V7S Pro robot vacuum cleaner. I've had this for about 4 years now, so I feel pretty entitled to talk about what it can or can't do. Let's get it going. Hopefully you can hear me over the noise. So yeah, as far as suction goes, it does the job well. It does a job, and it does a job well. If it misses something on the first try, it'll definitely pick it up on the second pass. So it definitely gets my room clean. I had like a nice Persian carpet though that just had to go because this thing couldn't climb it really. I think the idea, it sits a bit high normally, and I think the idea is to back in 2017 when this model was designed, to let it climb over some carpets, but it can't really do that reliably without getting tangled up somehow. So I had to give the carpet away. What a shame. But yeah, overall, I can't say I missed the carpet, although it was really beautiful, and I got it from Iran. I digress. It also mops, and it does that well as long as you don't pre-wet the cloth. If you wet the cloth before you put it on, then it gets a bit, then the floor is too wet and the tires will always slip and this thing won't be able to move. So it's best to put it on dry and let the robot wet it by itself. And really, that's just the basics of this thing. As you can see, this thing is quite effective. There's an additional filter here that you're supposed to put here, but I don't do that because it gets gray and there really is no need for this kind of filter. I don't, wait, let me just show you. There's this additional cloth filter that's supposed to go up here. It's really not needed because there's already another filter here which does a good enough job of trapping dust. And besides, this thing gets gray and then you need to wash it or whatever, so I really don't bother with it anymore. I just let the robot run and I leave it be for like 1 or 2 days without cleaning this out. And if you do that with this thing, then you'll never be able to get the gray dust out of it. So I just leave it out. For mopping, you get this thing with a microfiber thing. This is all original stuff from when I first bought the unit. So I haven't actually bought any replacement parts. And this is the thing. You just put it in there. And sometimes I like to put some soap in there as well. That's all. Here I have another robot vacuum cleaner, which I don't use, but was just given to me by someone else. You see on the bottom, there is a rubber mouth, and there's just these two things that just sweep things in there. Whereas on my old iLife model, it has this beater brush here, which I think is supposed to help with maybe carpets or whatever. But this thing is kind of like a, let's say every 2 years I would have to clean out the mechanism. Whereas on this thing, I really don't see this thing going bad anytime soon, but obviously this only works in hard floors. So yeah, obviously this way it's more reliable, but this way, yeah. Anyway, every now and then you'll have to, so for instance, if this thing, it goes forward and then it hesitates, like it thinks, it looks like it's seen something and it's seen the edge of a cliff and it's trying to run away and it just goes backwards and stuff. It's not because of a sensor or anything like that. It's basically because it feels that this brush is too hard to turn, so it tries to back up because it thinks this thing is being tangled on something. But yeah, it's just that there's too much hair in here that can build up in here, and that's all. I'll be posting a repair snippet of this where I just take this apart and show you what could go wrong mostly on these models. The battery is basically 4 18650s in the package, I think, and looks to be quite easy to replace. I haven't had to replace them so far. I'll just take it out so you can have a look at it. Yep, looks like 4 18650s, and it comes out here. It should be easy for any cell manufacturer to remake, I suppose, if you were to keep this around for that long. So yeah, I would rate the maintainability of this thing to be quite well, because it's not too hard to find the battery for this thing. And this thing, haven't had it break. This thing, haven't had it break. Really, it's a solid little machine, it just keeps going. And for 100 USD, I think it saved me a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble. Even if this thing isn't the most reliable mechanism on the planet. Yeah, I got something like this from my parents, and yeah, I just don't see it going wrong. Oh, and this thing cleans just as well as this thing, surprisingly enough.